video, I did not fill up the birth pool with water to show you how to use the submersible pump. The pump itself does come with its manual and its instructions. Do make sure you are fully reading them before using the submersible water pump. In the event that you purchase the full service package, you don't need to worry about it anyway because I come and empty the pool. If you just have the premier package and you are emptying the pool yourself, or even for the full service, if I can't get to you within a certain amount of time and you're required to empty it, do note that the submersible water pump does not fully empty all of the water out of the pool. The way that it is designed, it does leave 1 to 2 inches of water in the bottom of the pool. This is stated in the instructions and just now in this video, and in the instructions in the manual guide for the submersible water pump itself. So keep that in mind. When you are emptying the pool, as it gets to a little bit underneath halfway, right before it gets to the point where the pump is going to stop working, you are going to lift up the side here and then pull the plugs for the seat and the floor, and that is going to help release any of the air from the floor and the seat, so you do not need to use the air pump to deflate those. The weight of the water itself is going to help deflate them. You can do it basically at any point as long as you're confident that the water is low enough that it's not so heavy. You can lift this up and put your hand down to lift them up. In the case that you have the basic package and you do not have the submersible water pump, even if you're just using the bucket to kind of scoop out water or anything like that, making sure that you are doing the same thing as it gets to a certain point, lift to the side, pop those out, so that way you can use the weight of the water. Make it as easy on yourself as possible, please. I promise you. But because I did not fill this up with water and I don't have any weight of water, there are 2 different ways that you can get out the air. Like if for whatever reason you forget, you're not paying attention, what you could always do is once the pool is down to the last 2 inches or so, you're just gonna take this out, whether it is you, your partner, or 1 or 2 other people can lift the pool and kind of dump the water into a tub or the bucket or whatever have you outside. Wherever it is that you're able to do that, depending on the layout of your house and where you are. Everyone's situation is completely different. Or if you're comfortable, just kind of take the liner with a little bit of water in it and then take the liner itself and dump it, or just kind of bunch it up and then put it into a garbage bag, sealed. So that way you're not getting water everywhere. Just be mindful that it is technically bio-waste because there could be blood and things like that in the water, just because it's the nature of it. So being extra careful, making sure that you're wearing gloves unless it's you yourself or your partner. Some people don't necessarily care, but be extra mindful of that. The pump does not fully empty the water. Because the seat itself kind of has a little bit of elevation, it's almost like halfway through the seat or a little bit above the seat level. So it's basically that amount of water that could be left. So assuming that there is a little bit of water in the bottom here, I'm just going to very carefully pull on the side that kind of gather it. So it's gathered in such a way that it's almost like a little bag. There would be water and fluid in the bottom here. Having a person or 2 hold open a garbage bag, and then you just take it and put it into the garbage bag. Pretty simple. If you do dump the water out and you aren't able to, then I would still recommend taking it out like this, just to help prevent any dripping anywhere or dripping out of the pool or any of the supplies that you might have out, and just kind of wrap it in on itself and then throw it away as well. Again, being mindful of any fluids or anything like that anywhere. You can use the air pump included for deflating. Very similarly to inflating, you just take this, you put it on the top for deflating, lining everything up. And then using the same piece for deflating. So it would be set up like this. So something else that I just realized that I forgot to mention is once you take the liner out and stuff, before you start deflating the sides at all, you are going to take a rag and just kind of wipe everything down. I don't provide the rags, but just take something, wipe everything down, making sure that there's no liquid or anything or marks or anything like that. If for whatever reason you did get a little bit of fluid and blood from inside the liner into the pool or on the pool, just taking a little bit of cleaning vinegar, distilled vinegar in a spray bottle diluted with water, so it's a 3 parts water, 1 part vinegar, and giving everything a quick spray, letting it sit for a minute or two, and then wiping everything, making sure that the pool is completely dry. Once that is done, then start deflating the sides. Whether it's you take another towel and just kind of dry everything off to make sure everything's good, but we want to make sure that all of that stuff is kind of taken care of and making sure that this is clean as best as it can before it's given to me in order to fully disinfect it and sanitize it for the next person. But yes, that is assuming all of that is done, and then you start to deflate the sides. So all you have to do is really open this valve, and then you're going to start folding it up and putting it in the tub. So, and this is also the second way to deflate the floor and the seat if for whatever reason that you forget to use the weight of the water. If you don't want to use the air pump because it can be really squealy and loud, then what you can do is just kind of pop them open, put a little bit of pressure to help deflate, making sure that you're kind of pinching the valve itself because that's what releases the air, is pinching it, and then essentially leaving everything open. While you're rolling it up and deflating the sides, you will also in turn be deflating the seat and the floor as well. And that'll be how that is all done. So in order to get this going, making sure that you are starting on the opposite end of where the valve is. But basically you're just going to very gently start pushing everything down and kind of folding it in on itself to release as much air as possible. Making sure that if you didn't deflate the floor, that you're kind of pushing everything. Making sure it's releasing as much as possible, and then kind of folding everything in on itself. Being gentle so as not to potentially damage the pool at all, and just kind of go about it like that. Making sure that the valve is on the opposite end that you're starting at, so that way all the air is actually pushing out. So this kind of puffing here tells me that there's still air in the seat or in the floor. So I'm just going to make sure to try and empty the seat as best as possible now. That looks a little bit better. And then just roll it up like a big burrito. Give it a few good pushes, and there you go. Grab your tub, put it in. Oops. And that's it. Making sure that everything is cleaned and dried before putting everything back. The water thermometer should end up back in this bag. And I'm fine with it going back into this bag so that way I can clean it and sanitize it and put it into a brand new bag with the next person's liner. And then the foldable bucket will most likely not be ending up back in the tub by the time that I pick it up, because what you're going to do with the foldable bucket is, if you have the submersible water pump, you're going to open up your bucket. Once the pool is emptied and everything like that, you can either bring the bucket to your bathtub, which is kind of the preferred spot, and put the submersible pump into the bucket along with the dirty water hose. You're going to fill up the bucket with clean water from your tub and turn the pump on. Basically, you can leave the tub water flowing for a few minutes, just so that way water continuously cycles through the pump and the dirty water hose before it's given back to me to clean and sanitize. I am fine with the pump and the hose being left in the bucket for me at pickup. I just bring like a laundry basket with the garbage bag lined into it for me to put this in it, so that way it keeps my car clean, and that way everything's still out, has time to air dry, and is good for me to go ahead and sanitize and run my solution through everything before giving everything to the next person. So yeah, that's that. If you don't want to use the bucket, or you find that it's a little tight or things like that, even just putting it into your tub and letting everything run with the dirty hose kind of emptying into the toilet nearby, that can work as well. It's basically just making sure you're running clean water through it for a few minutes. So that is everything to do with your birth pool rental, the equipment setup, tear down. As always, if you have any questions throughout any of the process or the rental process, do not hesitate to reach out to me. If you are using something and you think something's broken with it, wrong with it, things like that, please let me know so I can get you in a replacement as quickly as possible, or that way I know in the future to replace it with something better or different. And that's everything. I hope these videos were extremely helpful, and thanks so much.